Welcome to episode 4 of Industrial Robot tutorial. I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. From now, the things will become little bit complicated. So if you guys somehow having trouble to understand the topic, or if you have some question, you guys can shoot me an email anytime. My email address is written in the description, or you can also write some comments. So I will try my best to clear the confusions. Today we'll talk about different types of frames which are used in industrial robot. It is very important to understand about it very well, otherwise it will be tough later to work with this. I will try my best to simplify as best as I can. So let's start. There are different types of frames are used in industrial robot, which are wall frame, base frame, work object frame, tool center point frame, and task frame. We will start with the wall frame. So wall frame is basically like thing when you have a production where various robots are working. So wall frame is actually used as a common frame. So all the robot system is relative to this wall frame. Base frame is basically the physical zero point in the base of a robot. Work object frame is think you have a room. In the room you have a table. So on the table you are working. So that area will be your work object frame. What work object frame is divided into two division, is user frame and object frame. So user frame is basically the area where you are working, and object frame is the object you are working with. After that comes tool center point frame. So when we attach a tool with the wrist of the robot, we need to find the center point, and that center point is basically called the tool center point frame. If we don't measure the tool center point, then, or for example, if you don't have a tool, the middle point of the wrist is the tool zero frame. So normally in a robot, if you don't fix the wall frame and the work object frame, both will be equal to the base frame. If your work object frame is 0, then it's actually the base frame and work object frame will be the same. And if you don't define the wall frame and base frame will be also the same. Now, why this is very important? For example, if you think a single robot, obviously it will be tough for you to understand. Think like 10-15 robot working together. To control the all other frames and everything, it is easier if you have a common frame like wall frame. Now, when a robot moves, the data is calculated by kinematics. So when you define the work area of a robot, it is easier to deal with the values. So for example, if you say the robot that your work area is this table, so the midpoint here, the data will be 0, 0. So when you will take any robot target, it will be relative to the work object frame. So the difference between user frame and object frame will be always relative to the user frame, and user frame is relative to the wall frame. There can be multiple object frame. So things like this, object frame can move with the workpiece which on what we are working with the robot. So think like a conveyor. and on the conveyor multiple pieces are coming. So when the workpiece is moving, the object frame is moving also together, and robot can easily adjust its path to take that workpiece. One more thing, the frame we are using, the work object frame, base frame, and task frame, those are relative to the wall frame, and the object frame will be relative to the user frame, and tool center point frame is always relative to the tool base point. So now between all of this, work object frame is very important. Like for example, if you want to move this table to somewhere else, you just need to update the work object, the user frame data. Then all other value will be same, since this is the other data will be relative to the user frame. For example, if you have a attached tool and it gets break, then you need to measure the center point again. But when you are changing the center point, all the robot target will be changed also. But if you have if you are using user frame, then you just need to update the user frame. Then all the data, since all the data is relative to the user frame, you don't need to go through all the target again. There is one more frame, it's called task frame. So task frame is where the robot will work. There can be a question, the task frame and the user frame will look similar, like because user frame is also saying where is the work area, and task frame is also saying where is the work area. But actually there is a difference. The difference is user frame is basically telling you where is the object you're gonna work with, and task frame is basically saying how you're gonna respond there. So for example, if you guys have idea about CNC turning machine, so when it starts to turn in X and Y axis, it's free to move, and in the Z axis basically it gonna it will do the turning operation. I think I can give you one more example. I think it will be easier to understand. Think like the robot is cleaning the surface. So if you program it, the user frame is saying where is the surface, and task frame is saying on the Z direction you can apply 5 Newton force, and in X and Y direction you can move freely. I will end the episode here. Thank you for watching till end. Today it was just an introduction of the frames. Later when we'll work with them on the simulation, I think the topic will become more clear. Still, if you guys face any problem to understand anything, just write me an email or make a comment. I will try my best to clear the confusion. Take care and goodbye.